Hello and welcome back to round 5 of the Grandmasters League, continuing things where we left off. This is set 2 of the week between Chris and Jordan 23, who just decided to delete his barracks for some reason, and he's decided to put a lumber camp there instead. He says, you know what, I don't need a barracks, I'll just put a lumber camp there. And I guess he could have kept his barracks up and put a lumber camp at the back. But no, he deleted the barracks. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, this is actually Jordan 23's home map, and he is in red playing as Mayans off to the left of the map. Down to the very bottom right, we do have Chris in green playing as Mayans also, and the familiar scene of Regicide Fortress is what is about to unfold. And we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly, but this is actually game 2 of the set, and I need to kind of explain why I'm not going to be broadcasting game 1. Basically, what happened was... Oh, he's saying a bit laggy there, not too bad. Basically, game 1 between these two guys was played on Chris's home map, and it was close to 2 hours long, and I would try and commentate that and do that and upload it and everything, but it would simply take too long. It's extremely tiring to cast a 2-hour game, but not only that, I don't think I've got enough hard drive space to store the video files of it recording, because Fraps takes up about 4 gigabytes a minute in recording time. So as you can imagine, my hard drive would get pretty full pretty quickly, so I simply cannot do that first game, unfortunately, and as much as I'd like to, I just simply can't. So the game 1, I will link in the description of this video to the AOC Zone post, where you can download the recorded game from game 1 and see the result from that as well. So I'm not going to spoil things in this video for you, but game 1 is not going to be put on this channel, and it will be linked to in the description, where you can download the recorded game and the like. I hope you can understand why I'm not deciding to do that one. It's simply just not possible. I could perhaps stream it, but again, a 2-hour long game is extremely tiring to do, and ultimately just pretty repetitive. But anyway, this Mayan war between these two guys, let's have a look at their maps and see what is good. Of course, we know from watching Mayan wars already that players like to keep their stone nice and safe. Jordan here with a front sword of stone. It's not too far forward, so he should be able to keep that safe. His other stone is over on the left hand side, so he might even decide to put a TC on here. But castle placement wise, it looks like there's a small choke point here. This could be a nice little spot to take control of, as well as a small choke point here, so we could even wall this and then castle on the left here, because it is quite close to Chris's left hand side as well. Chris, on the other hand, his stone off to the left in a nice spot. This is a very easy place to wall here and here. Very small wall off required to secure this golden stone, so a nice little stone pile there for Chris. He's also got stone at the back of his base, and he's also got a main gold to the far right. His other golds, again, as I said, secured here and quite close to the back of his base here as well, so he should be able to secure these two fairly easily. Jordan, on the other hand, his gold slightly far forwards, not too much of a big deal, but he doesn't have any back gold inside of his base, or any that's easy to wall off. He does have gold over to the north side and over to the right hand side of his base. Perhaps he wants to secure this one maybe with the TC. It's in range of the castle, so it's actually quite secure already. But he's also got a gold in this little corner here, and if he sees that, which he has done, it might even prompt him to make a wall off on this side, maybe here and here even, just so he can secure this stone and gold in this corner. He might decide to do that, he might not, we'll have to see. But I can imagine the strategy for this is going to be somewhere along the lines of fast castle, quite a big boom, and then getting out the plumed archers, try and do a bit of harassment before going imperial, and then starting to really roll your opponent. We'll see how it goes for both of these guys. I'd say they're both fairly even on map, to be honest. There's the blacksmith market from Chris, castle age for him, same for Jordan, and Jordan's slightly in the lead up to the castle age, starting to take stone already, but it's likely that he'll go for 3 town centres, and we saw this in Good Boy versus Dogao, I think it was, when Good Boy won 2-0 to Dogao. We saw that that extra town centre made a huge difference, and it really paid off. So I'm going to keep things speeding up a little bit till we get up to the castle age, and it looks like Jordan's going to put a TC on this stone gold right here, as he has made a hole in the wall, so that could indicate he's going to put a TC there. He is putting a TC on this gold here though, so maybe he wouldn't put a TC on two golds, not quite sure. He's created a little bit of a wall off on the right side as well, just to make sure that Chris cannot get around to this side. And actually, he's not going to put a TC here, I don't think, because he's going to create this wall off instead and make sure that it's fully secured. So he should be just fine to take this gold. His second TC, however, where is that going to be placed? It's going at the back here on wood, so he's not even going to put a TC on stone at all. Chris, on the other hand, where's he's putting his TCs right now? One on the wood and gold right here, and one on the stone at the back. So it's usual that we see players taking stone quite early on. Chris is putting his TC on stone, so we could see quite a lot of stone income from him. He might even go for the fourth TC. After watching those Ming Good Boy recorded games, he might decide that that is a good idea and something worth doing. Jordan could do the same, but as he's not put a TC on stone, it doesn't look likely that he's going to be gathering a lot of stone very early on in this game. For the time being, both of them just going to be collecting a lot of wood and starting to make their farms get up to the Imperial Age. Jordan here just completing his wall off, going to make sure this area is secured, and that's probably why he deleted this space in his wall here. He should have security on this gold at on the right side even. And now, waiting for a little bit of action. Chris with quite a few plumed archers out already. Jordan sort of the same, but I can't see where they are. They're back in his base, and he's got significantly less plumed archers out already than Chris, hence Chris's score lead right now. And it's a little bit risky, I think, to make too many plumed archers. It shouldn't slow down your Imperial Age that much, because Imperial Age you do need 1,000 food, and obviously plumed archers aren't costing food, but they could slow down your farm production a little bit. They could slow down your gold income a little bit, or take away from your gold income a little bit. And having the extra plumed archers, it's handy if you can do damage with them, but it's not always necessary to get so many out. Jordan, on the other hand, here not making so many plumed archers at all, and he's just going to play a little bit defensively, it seems, continuing to make a few but not going over the top. Chris, on the other hand, a lot already, and he's going to want to secure the map control in the center, and if he can do that, then he might have a little advantage going into the Imperial Age. But really, from what I've seen so far from Mine Wars on Regicide Fortress, it seems to be who can reach the Imperial Age first with the strongest economy and get the trebuchets out, and that is, I think, ultimately what it comes down to. So we'll have a look and see what we can see. Not so much going on with the likes of harassment. Chris just sticking to the front of his base. I'm curious to see if Chris is going to go for the fourth TC or not. He's not even taking any stone just yet, but his town centre is on stone right here, so he might start taking some stone pretty shortly. But for now, both of them just going to be getting lots of farms, plenty of wood to make the farms, and starting to take some gold as well. And Jordan now with more plumed archers on the field, just going to keep things speeding on up, because there really isn't that much going on other than economy, and we can only speculate where they're going to place their castles. Jordan, there we go, starting to take stone right now, and he might already be saving up for his castles. He could, on the other hand, be just saving up for a new TC. We'll have to wait and see for that one. Chris starting to move to stone as well now, and he's going to keep adding to stone, I think, for the time being. Yep, there we go, more villagers going over to stone right there, and it looks like he's starting to save up for that castle right now. Once he reaches Imperial, it's likely he'll place those castles down and go for the plumed archers and rams, or in Chris's case he might even go for mangonels, because we don't seem to see that many rams from him, which is interesting. There's the stone mining research, quite important that he gets that, as that will increase his effectiveness at gathering the stone. And Jordan now just moving out with some plumed archers as well. I think these guys are pretty neck and neck. 27 for Chris. Jordan on 24, so Chris outnumbers him slightly. Jordan does have Bodkin Arrow though, and that could allow him to out-micro Chris massively. Let's see if he actually bumps into his army here. It looks like he's going to engage him head on. Who can do the most damage here? Chris has got the numbers, Jordan's got the upgrades, and if he can make Bodkin Arrow worthwhile, then he could clear up here. A nice nice sort of concave for Jordan there, but I just don't think it's going to be enough, though Chris actually forced to retreat here, and I think Jordan did take bigger losses. He's down to 22 ranged units, Chris up to 23, so Jordan actually cleared up quite a lot of Chris's plumed archers there, a sort of bad engagement for him, and that bodkin arrow upgrade really did help out, not to mention now he's just got +1 defense, and that is going to allow him to try and take some map control, keep Chris cooped up in his base, and then once he reaches Imperial, he can push out and start to put castles, perhaps even aggressively. We don't see it so often, but sometimes it can pay off. We've seen it from Dogao and Ming before, putting castles sort of aggressively and taking the map from that. We've seen Viper doing it as well, but it's unusual that we see it all that often. Usually players do place their castles fairly defensively. Chris there with a siege workshop, going to be looking to get out a mangonel, I think, or maybe even some more rams. I don't think he'll go for rams though, he's more of a mangonel kind of guy, and he has just built a castle somewhere. There we go, castle going up on the right to secure this gold. He really doesn't want to throw any gold away whatsoever, and there's a mangonel coming out for him. We'll see if he manages to do much with that. Jordan on the other hand, not getting his second castle up just yet, but he is going to have it very shortly. Going to stick it, well, probably, I don't know where he's going to put it actually. He's got a lot of choices. You could try and put it on this side to secure stone, or even on this gold, but I think actually placing a castle aggressively on this hill for Jordan could work out quite nicely. There's always the risk though that your opponent will beat you to the Imperial Age, and therefore manage to take your castle out before you can do anything to theirs. So we'll see how it goes. Jordan just about to get the castle now. Let's see where he puts it. I think it's a bit risky for him to place it aggressively here, especially as Chris is coming out with the mangonel now. And Jordan with the upgrade, oh, he was on the upgrade advantage. Chris just throwing in those upgrades real quick to try and level the playing field a little bit. But Jordan realised that the mangonel was coming out and is making one of his own, placing the castle at the front here. Not a bad position. It's going to secure this choke point to the back of his base and probably help to secure that stone, especially if you can wall off a little bit over here. But Chris coming forwards with the mangonel now and looking to get that big mangonel hit, but whether he can do it or not, we'll have to see. He could well do it, and it looks like, yeah, Jordan's up to the Imperial Age. Chris not clicked up yet, and he's well behind on gold right here. He has got the 1,000 food, but his gold is so low. He's spent quite a bit on this mangonel. He's made quite a lot of plumed archers, and his gold is looking really low right now, and this is a real problem because Jordan is going to reach the Imperial Age first, and by quite a large margin. Chris just actually getting a big mangonel shot there, but in comes Jordan's mangonel as well. He might actually be able to do some damage to Chris, but Chris with an upgrade advantage here, and it looks like he's going to take the mangonel out. That's 1 for 1, and Chris placing the castle fairly aggressively here with the castle forwards, and I think he might end up regretting that because he's so far from the Imperial Age. He needs another 600 gold. Jordan is almost halfway there, and his trebuchets could be coming straight out, and that is going to be able to give him a nice advantage if he takes this castle down straight away. Of course, Chris now on 2 castles, Jordan on 2 as well, but if Chris gets this third up, he could start massing a lot more plumed archers than Jordan. We'll see how that goes for him. He might just be able to outmass him and hold on until he reaches Imperial, but it's going to be tough. Jordan not going to want to engage there. He's fighting uphill if he does. But a nice mangonel shot again, taking out a couple of plumed archers, really weakening some of these guys, and Jordan just managing to pick off a few. Chris still in the score lead though, because he's still not clicked up to Imperial yet, and he does have a decent army, but oh, Jordan's going to move out, and a lot of these plumed archers are very weak compared to Jordan's, and he might even prevent this castle from going up. If he does that, that will be a huge blow to Chris. Without this castle, he is going to be very, very hard pressed to actually secure this centre area, not to mention the fact Jordan is about to hit Imperial Age right now. The trebuchet could come straight out, and he's already adding in some rams as well in true tyrant style, getting those rams in there nice and early. It looks like the castle from Chris is going to go up, and I think Chris may have just clicked up. Yes, he did. Advancing up to the Imperial Age now, but so far behind, and that is a big worry for him. Another castle going up on the front, but if he places these castles too aggressively, the trebuchets from Jordan are going to take them straight out. He's researching conscription at the back right here. His second castle starting to make some trebuchets, and although yes, he has only got 2 castles, the third one is on the way, and Chris is going up to 4. He will be very hard pressed to actually defend against the trebuchets now. Upgrades still a little bit lacking for Jordan. He's not got the second archer armor upgrade, which Chris does have, but now with the capped rams coming in, Jordan is going to gain a little bit of an advantage. You'll be able to absorb some arrow fire from Chris, and this castle starting to be whittled away. A second trebuchet about to come out, conscription just finishing up, so plumed archers are going to be coming out pretty rapidly. The third castle for Jordan about to finish, and he's got a lot of wood and gold in the bank. Well, he did until he researched plumed archer upgrade, the elite plumed archer upgrade, and Jordan is going to be really high on the upgrades very shortly. No university from him yet, so he doesn't have ballistics or chemistry, but maybe we'll see that shortly. For now though, he might be just working on getting the upgrades. There we go, leather archer armor on his plumed archers to bring things even with Chris. But Chris now about to reach Imperial. He's still got a little way to go yet, and Jordan is going to be trying to push his advantage here as best he can. He's got plenty of rams coming out, and he is not upgrading siege just yet. Oh, wrong person, my bad. He's not upgrading siege just yet, I don't think. There's no way he'll be able to afford it. He needs 1,000 food for that, but he will be able to start putting severe pressure, or significant pressure even, on Chris. Coming in now with the capped rams. The mangonel behind from Chris could do quite a bit of damage. In comes some plumed archers as well. A little bit risky putting them between 2 castles. They're going to take a lot of unnecessary damage from these castles here, but they are going to retreat out the way of one, and in comes the the rams even from Jordan. The 2 trebuchets behind still starting to whittle away, and Jordan's not making any plumed archers, which is interesting. It looks like he's just continuing. No, he's not even working on upgrades right now. He's completely stopped doing anything, but he is focusing on this attack, and if he takes this castle out, it's going to be quite detrimental to Chris. But he's got to be careful again, because this mangonel could take out a lot of his units. Chris has got the castle still, and it's still up, and it's still going fine, and as long as that castle stands, Jordan is going to be very hard pressed to attack with such a small army right now. Starting again to add in more plumed archers, another castle on the front coming up for Jordan, and he is looking to get some more plumed archers out. But Chris here actually looking half decent. He's about to hit Imperial Age. He's got his 4 castles, or he is Imperial Age. He's got his 4 castles up. His plumed archers lacking a few upgrades, but Brace is being upgraded right now. And as long as he can keep this castle up, he might actually be able to start to close the gap with Jordan. Elite plumed archer is on the way, and Chris looking like he could just hold on here. He's got the numbers of plumed archers he needs, 40 compared to Jordan's 31, so he's got a little advantage on that one. Just upgrading capped ram as well, and population wise, Chris is actually a little bit further behind, so Jordan's economy likely to be much better off right now. And another castle up for him, more trebuchets coming out as well, and he is trying to take this castle down desperately. Chris though managing to keep it up, which is absolutely incredible. The only problem is he's wasting a lot of stone trying to repair this, and he's started to get some trebuchets out of his own, but this stone is going to be going down pretty quickly whilst trying to repair this castle, and I think inevitably it will go down. There is no way, I think, that he's going to stop this from going down, even with all the repairs in the world, because 4 trebuchets now coming in. But Chris does have chemistry already. He's got +4 attack, he's got +3 range from Bracer, and he's got plenty of archer armor. He's missing 1, but that's not so much of a big deal. I believe he's probably got ballistics as well, but I think his castle is gonna go down here. A couple more hits, in they come, and I think the castle will go down right now. There it goes. And Chris 1 castle down. Jordan with a ton of capped rams on the field, and if he upgrades to siege ram, that's going to help him massively. But right now it's just all about this capped rams, it seems, absorbing a lot of arrow fire and managing to just keep everything ticking over. Chris with some rams at the front as well, but I do actually think that Chris here is not going to have enough rams to make a significant difference. All Jordan has to do is keep adding more plumed archers, which he is doing, and he should be able to really start to push ahead. He's got plenty of stone in the bank, which is more than Chris does have, and he can start adding in castles very easily indeed. Another castle going back for Chris here, and it looks like Jordan is getting ready to push out. There's the siege rams coming forwards, a bit of ram on ram, but Jordan is going to be able to absorb a lot more arrow fire as he does have more rams. It's really hard to see exactly what is going on, as Chris here is his rams look very similar, but it looks like Jordan is going to have the extra rams left over, and he should be able to now push forwards and start taking out some of the plumed archers from Chris. He's missing chemistry, he's missing the final defensive upgrade, and he can now use his rams forwards. Is he going to be able to pick off any more plumed archers? That's the question. He is fighting downhill, which will give him an advantage, but Chris upgraded to siege ram right now. That is going to help him out massively. Siege rams, of course, a lot more HP, an extra 70 arrows required to take one down, and that's quite a big difference. So Chris making full use of siege rams. Jordan, siege ram is not being upgraded just yet, but he's probably looking for it. He's just so far off the mark with food. The only thing is, Jordan's about to take down Chris's castle here, and that's 2 down for Chris. Chris now having to fall back to 3 castles over here, and Jordan with 1.1k stone can start to add castles in pretty easily. He's got a good 4 and 5 castles on the map right now, and so far not losing any, so it's looking pretty good for him, I've got to say. Both of them with no building upgrades, so the castle is pretty vulnerable to trebuchet fire. And Chris coming in with the siege rams though, very nicely done indeed. And if he can actually take use of his elite plumed archers now and move them forward, start to take out Jordan's plumed archers, then he could gain a nice little advantage. Trebuchets trying to take out trebuchets. It's looking pretty close, but it seems that Jordan might just lose his trebuchet here. So close. I think. Yeah, there we go, 1 down for Chris, so Jordan managing to keep his trebuchets alive. The problem for Jordan now is that these siege rams are getting in the way, and it looks like Chris has way so many more elite plumed archers. Jordan's down to 22. Chris, on the other hand, is up to 55 plumed archers now, and that's a hell of a lot. Jordan's population is starting to fall quite rapidly, and if Chris keeps pushing forwards, then he could actually start to put a ton of pressure onto Jordan here, especially behind these siege rams, because Jordan is certainly looking a little bit low on plumed archers. The only issue is he can keep making them quite rapidly. He's got 5 castles to make them from, and he can easily replenish his numbers. Chris, on the other hand, well, he's falling back to 3 castles now, which is a 2 castle disadvantage, but the problem is he's just got so many already, and Jordan's going to really struggle to hold this many off, especially with siege rams coming in. He's run out of trebuchets, and Chris looks like he's about to push forwards completely. He might even start to take out this castle from Jordan. It looks like it's going to go that way. Jordan desperately trying to take out these rams, but Chris coming in from behind. So many plumed archers. Can Jordan get the numbers he needs? It's hard to say. He's now attacking downhill as well, which does mean that Chris is going to gain an advantage from that, and the siege rams coming in, absolutely devastating everything. Another castle could go down for Jordan right here, and that would be bad for him if it does. There's another one down, and suddenly it's 3 castles apiece, with Jordan looking like he's falling behind here, and that is certainly not so good for him. But Chris keeping the pressure on, lots and lots of plumed archers coming out, 59 out for him right now. Jordan's still on 32, and 147 pop to Chris's 195. Chris looks like he's going to absolutely storm through this. So many more rams. It seems like he's decided to go with rams instead of mangonels like we saw in the last game. He's obviously been watching some recorded games and has really sort of worked out a better strategy for him. There we go, another castle going down, and now Jordan seems to be down to 2. Chris with another counter on the right, a really nice little side attack here, should be able to take out some villagers quite easily, and this castle could even go down for Jordan. It's certainly not looking good. Chris could end up taking this game. It is so close. Jordan now with siege ram, but it looks like Chris is just going to power ahead. Another castle goes down, and suddenly Jordan has absolutely nothing left. Where are his plumed archers? They're all dead. 64 on the field for Chris. 46 on the field for Jordan, going straight with a counter attack over here, but they're in the wrong place. He needs to defend his base. Plumed archers alone are not going to be able to destroy an economy, and Chris looks pretty well protected. All of his villagers fairly close together, and I'm not really sure where Jordan's going with this. Chris managing to kill off a lot of units and starting to storm Jordan's main base as well. So many siege rams coming in, and he should even be able to take out another castle from Jordan. It looks like it's going to be GG any second now. Jordan trying to go with a counter, but if this fails, he's got absolutely nothing left. And it's going to be really tough for him to actually get anything done with just plumed archers on the right side. Looks like this castle's going to go down. No amount of repairs is going to stop that. And now Chris inside of Jordan's base with a good 50 or so plumed archers. And a nice little sneak by Jordan here, sending his plumed archers into the back. He knows he's got to do something big here. Otherwise, it's going to be GG for him. He should have left some behind to kill these villagers from Chris, but Chris now is going to see this. Jordan down to 120 population. He's going to try and gut Chris's base, but Chris, quick to react. He can gather inside of his TCs, and there's very little, I think, that Jordan's going to be able to do to make use of these plumed archers. The defenses are just too good, and Chris now starting to gut Jordan's base. Jordan right down to 106 population, most of that being these plumed archers inside Chris's base. He's going to try and kill some more villagers. He could kill a lot on this wood, but look at that! Spies! Someone just researched spies, and I think that might have been Jordan. I'm not sure how he managed to afford that. He might have just used the market, but how he afforded spies, I've got no idea. But Jordan saying well played, and he ended up losing that game. Chris takes it 1-0. Obviously this is the second game of the series, as I said, so I'm going to spoil it in a second. If you don't want to hear the result from game 1 and know how this set ended, then click away at the bottom of this video to the link where you can download the recorded games to watch game 1. If you just want to find out what the result was and let me spoil it for you, then I will do in just a second. I'll wait for everyone who doesn't want to get spoiled to click away. I'm going to assume they've done that about now. And so basically this was game 2. Game 1 was actually won by Jordan, which does mean that the set went 1-1. And both Jordan and Chris gain 1 point. The map was Nomad, as chosen by Chris, and so both of them ended up losing their home maps, which was kind of interesting. But as I said, there will be a link in the description to where you can look at the league table and download the recorded games, so you can have a look at game 1 if you want to. And other than that, that's it for the GML today, unfortunately. As I said, I'm sorry I can't bring you game 1, but I will be streaming today between 2 and 5 PM GMT at the usual place, so join me on stream if you want to, and hopefully I will see you there. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you tomorrow with more GML, or later on today with the live stream. And I've been Zach. I will see you next time.